What in the world? Off and on the clock on a Thursday? That's right. We are punching out and starting to hop on the clock, but not in the daily streets this time. This is the playoff best ball show. We decided we want to spin up a one-off extra show this week to devote solely to playoff best ball. Whether you guys haven't drafted a single team yet, or whether you've been deep in the weeds, we got a show that is going to take care of you today. We'll overview some of the contest stuff that's available in the lobby, how to build teams that can actually win first place in these. And then we're going to go through our list of teams we want to get to more, because in these contests, it's easy to get to the comfy clicks, the clicks that feel good. What are the spots that us gal brainers can push ourselves to and build some really differentiated lineups? That's what we're going to do on Off and On the Clock today with Jon and Nez. I'm Pete. Let's do it. All right, guys. Yeah, like I said, initially we were like, should we just do a really long show on Friday? And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I want to have all of our time devoted to the wild card slate, to pick'ems, and I also want to have a bunch of time to devote to this. So we ended up on 2 shows. I know you guys are juggling hoops today as well. I had to sit out hoops today. I'm loving hoops, but I'm like, I'm just too busy. I got to stay focused. I'll leave that to you guys. But how are we doing on this busy Thursday?
Dude, if there was ever a day to sit out hoops, you picked the right one. I mean, I commend Underdog for moving the dog bowl stuff to tomorrow after they saw what was actually taking place on this slate. So, Pete, even when he's trying not to be sharp, is still sharp. Huh?
I know, dude. Just nobody runs better. I've often said it. No, they did a really good job. I mean, I know it's a football show, but yeah, shout out to Underdog for moving the dog bowl for NBA to Friday. That was a really sharp move. Saved everybody a big headache. Yeah, man, but these playoff best ball contests are a lot of fun right now, and I'm excited to talk about some different angles to attack these, because at least for me, and right now, like, I'm playing these, I think, way different than everybody else is at this point in time.
Ooh, that's spicy, dude. That's spicy. Can I get
I think
one
you're with me when we get to it, but
okay. Can I get one confession out the way here? I have been a proponent of, like, I don't get it, guys. Like, playoff basketball, I know it's a great sweat through the thing, but like, you just stay in your lane, you just put all the teammates together, easy game, print money. The EV. I had a lot of fucking fun drafting these last night. I was wrong. I was wrong, dude. I was flat ass wrong.
Ambassador of the platform. Turns out the platform that he is an ambassador for is actually a lot of fun.
Wait, you used to, historically, you didn't like these? I didn't even know that.
No, I always preferred the daily stuff this time of year, where everybody was like getting like focused. I just like stayed in my lane with the daily stuff. I'd mix in a couple, mittens. The summit was really nice for me because I could just, do 3 and feel comfortable about it. But I just never fell in love with playoff basketball in the same way that everybody else seems to. And I think I've capitulated fully that I was just flat out wrong on that take.
the one thing that okay, go ahead, Pete.
No, I was just going to say, I'm like the same way. I'm just pulled in every direction. Like, I wish everything was segmented. Like, I wish I had 2 weeks to just do playoff best ball. I wish I had just a full week to focus on this wild card slate. It makes it hard when you're being pulled in a lot of directions, not to mention hoops. Like, we're going to be getting ready for the wild card slate tomorrow, and we're going to have a dog bowl slate for hoops too. Like, it's hard to be focused on one thing right now.
Bullish signal for the platform.
That's true.
Now I forget what I was going to retort to you, Jon, about that. So sorry. No, it was something awesome too.
I gotta just like hit you with something. I don't know if it's different if you're sitting down today or you adjusted the angle of your camera, because I see a little something on that shelf on the low one there. Is that a mitten returns again for the 9th time ring that is staring me in the face now? Did you just strategically put that shine on the lower shelf there?
Oh, you mean this whole thing? Was it kind of blinding you in the background? Yeah, they only give these out to people that win BBM2, and if you win the mitten returns again, chop for first, then you get to get one of these bad boys. I didn't steal this from Liam, by the way. He and I are ring brothers.
I will say too, if you take down one of these playoff contests, you earn that for life. I mean, our guy Chris G, this guy won the Gauntlet during the second Clinton administration, and he's still getting invites to come on shows. I haven't seen him win shit in years, but still, like, once you win it once, you're an authority Christy will be on Ship Chasing tonight as well.
That's awesome. What I was going to say was one thing I do love about these contests is like in today's era of Underdog, right? I mean, the platform's booming and there's a lot of auto drafters in this day and age. And many different, you see it in best ball, you see it in dailies. Playoff best ball, man, is for the grinders. This is for the people that are putting in screen time and sitting there and building teams and being thoughtful about their builds. And I think that's awesome. These people, the grinders deserve to be rewarded. And this is the contest for it.
And to your point, right? Like a real say a typical NFL slate, definitely an NBA slate. You guys could let me know about baseball, maybe not, but you could theoretically auto off of ADP and have like a really, really good lineup. Like that is very possible, especially in hoops. In playoff best ball, if you just autoed with no ranks or whatever off of ADP, you are dead on arrival. Like you just won't be able to win first place.
100%.
And that makes it a really fun dynamic because it immediately divides people of either you're trying and you're plugged into the matrix and you know what you're doing, or you're not trying and you are going to get your ass handed to you. So immediately we can weed some people out and ADP can't save them.
Yeah, very much so. And one thing I've noticed this year more so than years past is that people are staking claims on stacks with quarterbacks this year. That didn't really used to be a thing in the past. People would they'd stake claims on their stack and then push the quarterback, generally speaking. Like this is a new dynamic this year in the lobbies comparative, is it not?
I think so. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's a sign of the field getting sharper too. I mean, I don't think that these contests are as soft as they have been in the past. And plus, even though there is like softness, like a lot of the softness gets weeded out by like rounds 2. So like even when by the time you get to the semis, man, it's like it's all the sharp people that weeded themselves through and are live. Like once you get to the finals, man, like you are going to be competing against other live teams. Like that edge gets wiped out like very, 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 very quickly in these contests. Doesn't mean that it's still not an edge, but
let's I know a lot of people in the chat, if you're watching this live, you've probably already done a bunch of best ball drafts, but never want to take for granted people who don't know what we're talking about. I know we've been doing playoff content on Ship Chasing the other night, and there were still just so many questions in the chat of like, hey, I don't get why you're trying to do this, whatever. So let's try to do just like a little quick primer on what we're talking about with playoff best ball, why we think this is such an interesting format relative to not being able to use ADP here. And let's just use, I know it's going to fill within the next day or so, but let's talk about it through the lens of the Gauntlet. That's the big flagship contest up on Underdog, $200,000 first place prize. I'll real quick just say the advancement structure, and then you guys can kind of get into the minutia of how that works. So you're in a 6-person draft pod. 2 teams from that pod will advance. Then you'll get randomized into another pod, very similar to like going from weeks 1 through 13 or 14, best ball mania into your week 15 pod. Same thing will happen after the divisional round, but you're in a 1 of 10 pod. And now you just have to advance, be the top there to advance to the the conference championship round. Once again, 10 teams, you got to be first in that. And then you advance to a 300 seat final for just the Super Bowl. And so immediately, Nez, you hear that, okay, I get to the Super Bowl. I'm going to want some players on my team that are playing in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah. Like you said, if you are unfamiliar with this format, you want to have a starting lineup in the Super Bowl. When you are building these drafts, when you're drafting these teams, you want to make sure that you are putting together a team that can field 5 players in the Super Bowl, AFC and NFC. And then we'll get into the other dynamics that can help you get there. But that is like 101. That is like step 1. Reverse engineer what you are trying to do and make sure you have a full team for the Super Bowl.
I'll ask you guys a question that corresponds with that, Nez. Are you like hell-bent on no matter what team you start with your quarterback, that's your Super Bowl bid team?
It's certainly my plan.
Yeah.
Plans change. And that's part of the in-room dynamics with this stuff is, being able to, react on the fly. And now more than ever, like strangely, these 1 seed quarterbacks, 1 seed teams tend to go later than they did prior to the seeding being finalized. So I will kind of like push things with some of these 1 seeds. And then if I lose my QB, lose a teammate that I'm trying to get, then I'll pivot. And unfortunately, that's just like a unique advance rate piece from that point on. But I am willing to pivot. It's never my thought process going in is like, I'm drafting Jalen Hurts, and I actually don't care if Saquon or AJ Brown fall back to me. He's only an advance rate piece. That's not how I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and when we say advance rate piece, we're thinking like in a perfect world, you'd say, all right, I'm going to guess the 2 Super Bowl teams, and let's say, and we can separate the bye week conversation from it right away, but like, let's just say you think it's going to be Eagles and Bills in the Super Bowl. In a perfect world, if you could just fast forward there, you would have 5 Eagles and you would have 5 Bills, or some combination of just Eagles and Bills. However, if you do that exclusively in your contest, you're probably going to not have enough firepower to get out of at least one of these rounds, most likely. Like maybe one of those teams has a down game on their way to the championship, and you need to finish first out of 10 in your pot or whatever. So when Nez says advance rate piece, we're talking sometimes about, hey, there's some guys who project extremely well in round 1 that are barely getting drafted, right? Who could help you advance. And even if they lose, or maybe their team ideally wins, then all of a sudden you've been able to have your cake and eat it too. You still have your Super Bowl squad intact, but you also have this guy who spikes for 30 points, maybe this year's Jake Ferguson, and now you're on to the next round.
I think that's a really interesting conversation to have with like the landscape of this year in particular. And like, there's so many of these teams in the postseason right now that I can paint a picture of like, they're just so explosive on offense, and you could just have to have it, need those points. Like the Gabe Davis year from like 2 years, was that 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Yeah. When he had the 3 touchdown, 40 ball, where it's like, they didn't win that game, but you needed Gabe Davis to advance. I think that's even more relevant this year when you look at the stars and scrubs dynamic of like, the Texans. Can we rely on that offense in any regard right now? I don't know, but like, could they somehow find their way to the second round? Absolutely. Right. Like when the Steelers, another example of that. Could they win that football game? Yes. Is it likely? No. Do we want to full onslaught stack Steelers to push to the Super Bowl? Not really, because even if they get there, like what did they score? 25 points a game, 20 points a game to get 25, there?
I wish, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Whereas like, some of these other teams, like if they make it, it's because they shot the lights out, right? Like the Bucks, like the Lions, exactly. So it's a really interesting dynamic that I think like it's more magnified with the teams this year than in years past, the push through components.
In my thought, or the thing that I think I've evolved over the years, how I think about it with advance rate pieces is almost commit to the bit, turn into the skid. Like instead of just doing a one-off, Joe Mixon, well, then grab Nico Collins too, commit and say, if they pull off the upset, can they help me in two rounds? Because that's really the crown jewel of this, because what you're ultimately trying to do, obviously getting the Super Bowl. But one thing, I feel like the Leg Up guys and Sacrilegious have done a lot of good content around is that it's really optimizing for the conference championships, because you want to have your teams represented by those 4 final teams playing. And so if you can reverse engineer things from that conference championship, then it can open up pathways. You're not going to be able to have the top 2 players from all of the chalk seeds, right? You're going to have some surprises in there. And then you want to lean into it. And it doesn't feel comfortable. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the teams we want to get to that don't feel comfortable. But I do think this idea of committing to the bit, and the fact that you can do it with superstar players, like we can talk about whether Mixon and Nico and that team has any form right now, but the offense is going to funnel through those 2 players. And if we're all wrong about the Chargers winning, like those guys are going to be massively helpful pieces in 2 rounds. Oh, you're muted, Nez.
Yes, you're muted.
My fault. Yeah, no, definitely fun to think about, and something that you should definitely have in mind. If you are not familiar with who's playing in round 2 and who can meet in the conference championship, that's one side of the same token there. You definitely need to be familiar with that before you go in. It's not like the end of the world to be drafting, Chiefs and advanced rate Chargers. But ideally, if you are drafting another AFC team with the Chiefs, you want it to be somebody that is not Chargers and Texans, somebody that can meet the Chiefs in the AFC Championship and help you advance through to get you to the finals. So it's, like I said, not the end of the world, but definitely something to be mindful of is that seeding as well.
The other thing too, that's a big deal. And there's different contests in the lobby. And one nice thing when you click on these contests, as I'm doing here, underneath basic tournament info, it does show you that round advancement. And so the gauntlet here, the big contest, it's 2 of 6. which is pretty nice. It gives you a little bit more leeway for being able to advance. You can click over here to the Summit, a really nice 3-max contest they dropped. This is only 1 of 6. And obviously there's some pretty big ramifications to that. You got to be more perfect to advance in a 1 of 6 than you do a 2 of 6. And I think where that really comes to light is with how you handle the bye week teams. You know, all of us would love to have a lot of Chiefs and Lions, I think, in our portfolio. If you do that, you are going to risk not advancing too many teams because they're literally giving you zeros this week. Guantlet allows for that a lot more. In the 1 of 6, like starting your draft with 4 or 5, you know, of those bye week teams, you literally have to hit the nuts with your last 5 picks to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, perfectly articulated.
Yeah, with something like the Summit, I mean, I know it's so like specific. I would honestly be okay bringing 4 total players from a Chiefs Lions Super Bowl to a 62 seat final and see and just see how I do. And hopefully, like, you know, that there's other teams there that I don't overlap with and try to hit home with. I mean, I think there's a lot of fun dynamics with each of these tournaments that really changes the way that you should be attacking these. But with the Gauntlet, with 2 of 6, the first round is the friendliest round. I mean, that makes me really like likely to take risks here. Like I have a lot of Chiefs Lions teams in the Gauntlet because like I have a 33% chance of advancing, you know, like, I mean, it's, I'm going to take those chances and try to come to the finals with 2 bye week teams.
And you know, I think it's funny using these 2 as examples because, you know, John mentioned it and they both lost, but in the Gabe Davis example from a few years back where he had the nuke game, or Jake Ferguson last year and they lost, let's just say those teams would have won. You could have had a bye week team and like advanced because of just one player, because a 40-point score is just so absurd that the team's almost automatically advancing, depending obviously on the other scores. But to Nez's point, it makes you want to take that risk of like, let me build for this hard Super Bowl to advance, and then maybe I'll land on the 1 or 2 pieces to explode. And now all of a sudden I have this juggernaut team ready to make a run.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys another couple of idiot questions here that just like are floating in my head right now? How many players from like how many teams are you comfortable with on one roster?
4 max, I think.
4 max?
I've been 4 max, yeah.
Okay. And then with the bye weeks teams, how many total roster slots allocated to a team with a bye week is too many?
Well, that's what Nez was just saying, like maybe 4 max in the Summit. Okay. And I'm probably, and then it has to be 5 max elsewhere because you still want to be able to fill a starting lineup.
$25 doesn't mean like so little to me that I'm going to roll out a 4 lineup, you know, a 4-player lineup in round 1, even though like, you know, if you do got it like that, probably not a bad idea to take some chances. But for me, you know, $25 is not something that I'm willing to just toss away in hopes that I hit like the giga nuts in round 1 with 4 players. It stops at 5 for me, and it has to be 5. Like I'm not it's a botch draft if I don't have 5 starters in the Super Bowl.
And the other way to think about this too, if you were going to try to push the boundaries, is where did you spend on these bye week teams? Like if you start your draft with 5 bye week players, or let's say 4 or whatever, like you were going to need those 6 picks on the back end because they're probably going to be weaker picks as is. You know, if you're starting to tack on the dust balls at the end, say you have a Bills build, right? And you just have Josh Allen, or maybe the Bills aren't a good example since we're doing bye weeks, but you know, a team where you've already loaded up on some firepower in rounds 1 through 5, where you're like, I have a pretty good starting lineup through 4. Then maybe you say, all right, I'll push it and load up on all these, you know, Chiefs and Lions after the fact. But yeah, I don't think you have to get that cute, even playing for first in these contests. Because the thing too about, we talk about ownership and how like that condenses, there are going to be a lot of good teams that get weeded out along the way. And then your number one goal when you show up to this 300 seat final is to 1, be able to field the full starting lineup, and 2, just have 1 or 2 pieces, ideally multiple, but probably realistically 1 piece that is somewhat unique that gives you an unblocked path to first place.
Yeah. I mean, perfect example last year is Mecole Hardman. I mean, he won a lot of people a lot of money last year. For that touchdown that he scored at the very end, which he lost me a lot of money. So I can relate because I didn't have Nicole Hardman in my Chiefs and Niners.
The the other thing to talk about, and there's lots of things to talk about, but
I know
with with people drafting multiple teams, one thing I've run into is sometimes it feels like I'm building the same team over and over. It's definitely much less of a concern doing it in this style contest than it is a lot of other contests that we play in, right? Where you're kind of cannibalizing your own shot at those top prizes if you're kind of duping or near duping yourself. Whereas this, like, you could have two identical teams and one of them advances out of round 1 and the other doesn't. Or those two teams advance to the 1 at 10 and there's just one slightly better version of your team. So I don't think it's bad in this contest. If you have some big stands, you really want to play some teams, like build a bunch of versions of that, because you literally might only get one of those teams to the promised land.
Yeah, that's a good shout there. That's something that we flirted with last year a little bit and experimented. And as you did, you auto drafted the mittens last year and just went all in on Bills as being like underpriced and just did that. Like you were duping yourself like 2v2s versus yourself because you can push some through and some not through. And you just want to have those live bullets.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about last year, but I just felt like the ADPs lined up really nicely to do like I really liked a lot of the underdogs last year, like the Packers and the Lions and Browns and Bills, like you mentioned. Bills, whenever we weren't sure if they were going to get in. And then I just loaded up and just tried to get as many as I could there. This at this point in time, when I am drafting gauntlets, I think we're about to get into like the nitty gritty, right? Of like when you are actually in gauntlets and trying to build teams that you feel comfortable with, everybody is funneling to a lot of the same type of teams. We love to put together teams that are not on buys and love building. I mean, Lamar, you see the top 3, right? Josh Allen, Lamar, and Jalen Hurts are so easy and comfortable to build around. I really right now in gauntlets want to prioritize building out these like mega underdogs and pairing very, very low commonly paired teams together in the instance that we get a wacky NFL playoffs. It's not inconceivable that we see two sub 2 seed teams, sub 3 seed teams make it to the Super Bowl. It's not totally impossible. And nobody in their right mind is like doing anything along those lines right now.
With those builds, do you take 2 quarterbacks? So like say you did like a wacky, like say you did like a wacky in quotations like Jaden Daniels, like you did like Washington on one side, you did Chargers on the other side, and then you sprinkled in whatever else. Would you have both Herbert and Daniels on that team?
So I think it's fine. And why I think it's fine, and no matter how you do it, in this example of taking like low paired teams together, why two QBs I think makes sense. Not only is like, okay, I think it makes sense. It's like you're already going to the finals with a low paired combo. Right. Like getting those extra unique pairings at that point, like you already have the uniqueness. You might as well help yourself get there in the instance that like not only is this combination unique, but it was hard to get through because other QBs were scoring more points.
And it's a cost thing, right? Like when you take one of these quarterbacks in the first round, like you need them putting up such monster scores that they're the one carrying things for you. If you're doing the Jaden Daniels and Justin Herbert and you're able to do those guys with your last picks, the opportunity cost is Ty Johnson. The opportunity cost, like, so it allows you to do 2, I think, way more viably because you are allowing the other skill positions at the top of your board to kind of carry you. And I'm with you, Nez. Like the thing, if I had infinite time to draft these teams, I think what I would love to do is almost have like a randomizer on a playoff bracket and just randomize and be like, all right, it spit out this. Let me now build a team that plays around this conference championship or Super Bowl duo. And because that everyone here who's watching this are probably good drafters, but we all get funneled to the same stuff. It's just like build a really good Chargers Commanders Super Bowl, like that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a shame that we didn't have more time because that would have been a great bit. 2 randomizer wheels pairing up AFC and NFC teams to do that. Yeah. That would have been a pretty damn good idea.
Well, why don't we? We're gonna do some bigger drafts later. I don't know. You want to do? I kind of want to do this.
That's kind of a
You guys
great
wanna
idea
do
on the
this?
fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because it's really, especially the gauntlet, right? I don't think you need to take this idea and port it to every single tournament that's live right now in the
Mhm.
lobby. But with the gauntlet being so full, I think it makes a lot of sense to do that right now.
So
Okay,
I was just
this-
messing around with that concept right now
Yeah.
on the side here in the gauntlet, and I'm doing pretty heavy Chiefs Bucks, but only 2 teams. Is that bad?
So it's just like Bucks are just pushing you through.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's thin, right? I mean, like logically, like you're asking the Bucks to do a lot of heavy lifting, but
Mhm.
you know,
So-
Yeah, so that's the other thing you think about. Yeah, right. I mean, the Bucks would probably be one of those teams of just like if the Bucks go on a run, their defense sucks. It's gonna be because they're scoring 35 every game. So maybe that's like one of
Right.
the few teams you could actually get away with that with.
right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty thin. I think I like it if you do like 2 teams that have ADPs that are suppressed, like Commanders and Chargers, where all their ADPs are like below 30, and just put them all together in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, I mean,
And they're both playing.
you really don't have to follow ADP that strictly.
Yeah.
you really don't. If you want to play what we're talking about, there's no point in like starting your draft off with Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen if that's what you're trying to do. I mean, just reverse engineer this thing.
Okay. All right. I just put
Hell yeah.
the AFC teams on here. Let's do it. We're gonna do this true. Even if one of the top seeds come up, let's see if we can get a fun one here. Okay.
All right, here we go.
We're getting really pushed.
Everybody's
We're
gonna
getting-
be like trying so hard to get in our rooms, knowing that we're drafting this crazy shit.
All right.
This is good.
But here's the thing, too. Like, just because we get Denver Broncos, it doesn't mean we're going to take 5 Denver Broncos. We're just going to play where they are part. Because what we're actually doing is playing for them to like the conference championship is more what this is doing. But let's see here. Let's do our.
Come on, Rams. Come on, Rams.
We're going to get Bucks. Dude, this one's hot.
There we go.
Oh,
That's
fun.
let's go.
All right. And the thing is that we can do, so let's hop in a gauntlet and we're going to build Bucks and Broncos as 2 of our teams. And like we already said, we're already going to be max 4 teams regardless. No bye weeks to worry about with these. The other thing we can do immediately when we plot this out, we know the Bucks have higher ADPs. So we can go look Evans 24, Bucky 27, and then a pretty big drop off to McMillan, Baker. The main thing we're going to have to make sure we lock up is Mike and Bucky, and then everything else we're going to be able to get pretty much.
It's nice because they're concentrated too.
Yep.
Yeah, and then on the Broncos side, I mean, there's only like 3 or 4 pieces we really want from there as well, right? I mean, Bo Nix, Sutton, Mims, and then like, do we even care about their running backs? Like, we might as well just go like Bucky and Rashad.
Right. I mean, I am a little sneak peek tomorrow. I'm kind of warming up to Jaleel McLaughlin as a gem, but we don't necessarily have to get there in this. But so now we know a few other things too, right? We know that we are obviously not taking any Commanders. We know we are full fading the Bills because we are playing that Broncos upset. We can also start to think about some of the seeding stuff. So if Broncos win, they're going to KC, which is another. What do you?
I'm so dumb. Do they reseed?
Yes, it reseeds. So like they'll get the get the Broncos. So what do we want to do here for quarterback? Because or do we want to take?
I think we have 2 good quarterback options.
I think we should take a running back, right, and try to like bully our way out of the first round.
Take Kyron and take Puka in the second.
Really,
what?
Dude? No, really?
Yeah.
John,
it lines up so nicely. They're a 4. They're a 4 seed. Tampa's a 3. You reseed, they would stay there. All the favorites, they would meet in the conference championship, and nobody's going to pair them together because anyone who's crazy enough to do a Broncos plus Bucks build is just going to play the chalk at the start.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So we can go Rams and Tampa don't meet until the conference finals because they're 3s and 4s. And then you just go Broncos the whole way from the AFC. And then you can play both quarterbacks and you get a Kyron week 1 running back score. That should be a pretty decent spot. Well, I mean, it's a tough run defense.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I like it too, because also the point when you're going with these sleepers, you're planning on their path being easier than expected, right? I think you could have made a case for the Ravens just because they wouldn't have met until the conference championship game. Like we could have done that. So let's see here.
The problem is doing Ravens is you take Henry, right? So you take Buka now, and then you take Mike Evans next.
Yep.
Yeah. And obviously we are pushing the upper bounds of what I would recommend anyone doing. But like a lot of things, when I do the wheel challenge on the Deposit Kingdom videos, the point is to push yourself out of your comfort zone and show you can build really good logical teams, in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot, like we're talking one game samples here. Like a lot of different things can happen that people are not expecting. And I mean, like you're just going to be up against so few other lineups doing this type of stuff if things do break this way, right? Like it's worth, the juice is worth the squeeze, in my opinion, if we do get a crazy ass NFL playoffs. Like nobody's building for it.
All you have to do is look at the MLB playoffs 2 years ago, and we did that Arizona stuff, and who showed up in the finals with full onslaught teams. Like more baseball has more variance than football, I think, but like who showed up in the finals with like full onslaught Arizona teams? Only the Sharps.
Sam, Chip.
Sam, Chip. Exactly. Only the Sharps show up with it. Only the Sharps will ever show up with this, and nobody's manly enough to do it on stream. So let's fucking shove it down their throats.
John gets so aggro.
I love it, man. I love it.
It does make me
dorks want to just play the projections and play the best plays. Fuck them.
I think I might have to make a note that next year to do a series of playoff basketball streams that are all just essentially randomizer with different teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Magic Carp's in the chat. He had a team in there too. Dog Bowl qualifier. Right there had a team that was Texas, Arizona.
Yeah. So we start, we got the 2 Rams, the 2 Bucks. So let's back this out a little bit. I assume we're going to want Baker and Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd go both, right?
And
yeah,
Sutton,
I think so.
And Mims, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know about Mims.
Okay.
McMillan over Mims.
Yeah. Because it'll be 4 Bucks, 3 Rams, 3 Broncos.
Good with it. Yeah.
Do we want to grab Cup?
Yeah, let's see because he's available in the last round.
I think the most important piece to this team is Bo Nix.
Yeah, because we're really saying, because of the 2 NFC teams, that like it has to be Broncos. It has to be somebody versus Broncos. I mean, I'm cool with ADP it. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna ADP it, but yeah, I agree. I mean, Broncos have you guys seen Broncos get drafted in any of yours?
Just like Cortland Sutton.
Like as a one-off, basically?
Right.
Yeah. Which again, that goes back to the thing, like, I understand I have a hard time with the one-off stuff there. Like,
you think? Because like, I mean, it could be like 2 if they upset, just like it's a very thin chance. If they do upset, like you do get 2 rounds of concentrated Cortland Sutton.
But I guess where I would like to do it, and I think you can do this stuff in a smart way, is like a Goff team, right? You have a Lions team, and so you take, say you have Goff, Amon-Ra, and maybe a couple other pieces, and then you take Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton to cover your Goff in Amon-Ra round 1.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing like Jaden Daniels, Terry in that regard. Okay. Like a nutted matchup and like trying to really get your brute force your way through.
What do we think?
You want Nix or Cup or Sutton?
I think Sutton
first. Sutton first.
Yeah, just
right. So we got 4 more picks. 1 is Nix. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 more picks.
One is McMillan.
Yep, 2 more picks.
And
Cup.
Yeah, and if we miss out on Cup, like Cup is not is probably the least important piece.
Yeah,
here.
if we miss on Cup, then we would need like Mims because we would want that 5th piece.
Or we could do Kate Otten. You could just rip it in on the Bucks.
It's true.
I
actually don't mind that. Yeah.
The other benefit of teams like this is obviously not only is it mega unique, but it's extremely live to advance out of round 1.
Oh yeah, we're getting that. We're getting $20 back, Pete. Like no questions asked. We are getting $20 back on this.
The guy who just got the Saquon Hurts team is going to be big fucking mad at us when that team doesn't get through because he finally gets the GM and he's showing all his friends right now, and then he loses to a Bo Nix Sutton team.
I wonder how he's going to land that plane. That's an interesting.
I know. I wondered how he's going to do it too.
Like he would need to do like Noah Gray or Kareem Hunt.
I think he might tighten up. He's going to tighten up because he finally got a Saquon Hurts team. Okay.
Yeah, I guess Hollywood there is nice.
No. Yeah, so he's got Kelsey, Hollywood. But again, we're not saying that this is bad, but again, you are running into Lad versus your Chiefs in round 2, which again, it's not ideal.
Yeah, because there's 1 out of 10 the next 2 rounds. Like that's not that's not easy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play 5 bullets in this contest, you should do Green Bay. Yeah, you should do Green Bay, Chargers, Steelers. You should do Bucks,
Steelers,
dude. Just if you're gonna play 5 bullets and it's 0 or nothing, and they all play in week 1.
I'm with you, John. To the point. Obviously, we're. Hang on. Let me see. Do we want to grab McMillan here?
Okay. Yeah, I prefer McMillan. I think.
Yeah. Let's do McMillan, and then what if we just stay with Kyron in that, and what if we grab like Mims and Jaleel?
Okay.
Or you could do Rashad White too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you could. I think
You could also
the thing with the Rashad White click. So like I think Mims, right? Do we want to do Mims here? So the thing that I like about the Rashad White pick is like if we somehow get the Bucs Super Bowl and it's not against the Broncos, we're live. We have five players.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, but it is
right.
Any Buccaneer here I think makes sense, whether it's Otten or Rashad White.
Yeah.
See, like my thing is like this contest has been open for a month. You're not gonna just roll in here on the last day with the brackets all decided and draft the nuts. So doing this is way smarter.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, John, I agree. I think though, and it's kind of like what we've been talking about with the FFPC playoff contest, is where you can get extreme leverage and you don't even have to go to the teams that are double digit, underdogs. Like you can play.
Count out my Steelers.
I knew you were gonna give me. Yeah. I will say, like, I mentioned this in the Fantasy Life newsletter. I obviously love, underdog upsets, but I think all the dogs are live, man. Like divisional matchup for the Steelers. Broncos are incredibly plucky. Well, Chargers are, road favorites. Like I can make a case for almost all of these. I think I'm Cade or Jaleel.
I would prefer Cade, I think.
Get the 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we're still there for the Broncos, Bucks. And we lean more
Broncos,
on the
Rams
game. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah. Well, Broncos, Rams, and Broncos, Bucks. We're still alive for, right?
Yeah. No, I'm saying like the fact that we can still get the Broncos, Rams would make the.
Technically, we're live for 4 Super Bowls.
Yes.
Bucks versus anybody, and then So that's fun, man. I mean, we didn't really talk about the teams that are like hard to draft. That's not, I guess, as fun of a conversation. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like the Eagles right now, like John's talking about, like coming in here drafting the nuts. Obviously, the Eagles don't have a bye. They're one of the biggest favorites in the NFC. Like they're hard as shit to draft right now. Like I don't know if you guys have tried drafting Eagles. I just gave up. I cannot do good Eagles teams.
You don't want to draft Jahan Dotson?
we're doing it.
While you guys are talking about that, Nick just rolls right in the chat and he goes, "Yeah, there's no way someone could just roll up today and draft Hurts plus Saquon," and it just fucking happened in our room.
Newbie just banned me from Underdog.
Can you? Yeah. What the heck? Your screen isn't refreshing.
I love this team. This team fucks.
I had so much fun doing this. You guys want to spin the wheel one more time? Do one more gauntlet randomize?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
I mean,
what I'll do is I'll remove the team we already did.
That's fun,
dude. On any given Sunday, if like a 8-point favorite like won a football game, you'd just be like,
now Nez is pissed because we got Eagles.
Oh,
we got Eagles.
Try me. Let's go.
All right, let's see what we can get here.
We're about to do like Eagles
Steelers would be hilarious. Let me get rid of Broncos.
That would be disastrous.
But like everyone was laughing at me on our show like 2 weeks ago. Oh, that's fun. That's a good one.
This one is really fun.
Yeah.
But what, John?
Well, everyone was laughing like when I was like, "Oh, the only the path for Atlanta making the playoffs is like not that hard. Like all that has to happen is Cowboys beat the Bucks." And like there's an example of Cowboys winning against a playoff team 2 weeks ago on Monday night. Like that could easily happen in week 1 of the playoffs here with better teams than the Cowboys at play.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Like it's basically the opposite case of building a bunch of versions of the same team where it's like, okay, if you're right on how the playoff bracket goes, you want to have a bunch of cracks at it, or you could just try to create the path of least resistance. And what if everyone's wrong about the bracket and I don't have to build 10 Bucks Broncos teams? In fact, I just have to build one, because if that hits, that's going to roll all the way through.
Exactly.
But I do think the whole point again in doing this, and obviously the Broncos were on the extreme end, but I do think it's instructive of like getting out of your comfort zone with some of these builds. Cause I haven't done as many drafts as a lot of people. I think I'm like 30 or 40 deep. And a lot of my teams look the same. And I'm very much enjoying this. Like, all right, let's build an unconventional team here. That's not insane. The NFL playoffs are fucking chaotic.
Yeah,
exactly. It's also the absolute goat to double bird the community of like, I know ball. You know what I mean? These guys are gonna be crying like, "Oh, I did all these gauntlets. I did 1,500 gauntlets, and look at my EV and look at my exposures." And then you just go, "Buddy, Rams, Bucks, Broncos, double bird," and like just
producer blur that out.
You didn't think to spend $25 on that one?
So Barkley goes before us, so we get.
You know who he did? You know what's fucked up, man? That's my dad. He totally just ruined our.
Dub City.
He totally just ruined our plan.
Your dad. What?
Dub City just rolled in with double bird.
Is Dub in the chat? Reveal yourself, Nez.
He's let him stop laughing, and then he's gonna get in the chat and leave a comment like "Sorry guys" or something. That's him. Unbelievable. He loves, it's the family thing, right? We're related to Sirianni, so they love the Eagles there. They're the second team in that household.
Wow. Incredible.
Turn me up with a great.
And we get sniped on AJ Brown there, man.
Gross.
That does hurt. I think we just have to take Devontae.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I don't think. You can't. This team is going to come preloaded with Kenny Gainwell and Dallas Goedert. And then the question is, like, on this team, obviously we're taking Ladd. Obviously we're going to take J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Does this team have Herbert? And then what do we want the other team to be?
What I'm thinking about is like the running back points. Like we're going to be like pretty desperate for running back points. Yeah. So like I would probably be willing to do a one, like if we get Kyron on the way back, run it back with Kyron, or like a one-off Bucky. Something along those lines. Like we definitely need to be thinking about like who's putting up points for us at running back early.
So yeah, Kyron or Bucky's Aaron Jones make a ton of sense.
Yeah,
we wouldn't want to do Bucky.
Bucky's bad. Yeah,
because we would play Bucky if both True. On the other side with Chargers, we would obviously not. The Chiefs do nothing for us. But anything on that other, I guess it would. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get. Yeah, I think it's Aaron Jones or Kyron.
Mm-hmm.
Or Commanders, because they reseed and play the Lions, and you can meet the
True.
Commanders.
But those running backs don't feel good either.
Yeah.
No,
10 Brad Robinson points might not.
Yeah.
The grossest thing is the 6 seed from the other side, and then you can take Jalen Warren and Najee Harris.
I mean,
it fits. It's disgusting, but it fits.
Yeah, I would be okay with Warren.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do Aaron Jones since we did?
Okay.
Jefferson already went. Jefferson didn't come back.
No, Jefferson's gone.
And
I think I prefer Kyron Puka if Puka's still there. Did Puka go on the left-hand side of the board?
Yeah, I think Puka's gone.
Yeah, okay. Puka's gone.
Then do Aaron Jones and Addison.
Yeah.
Let's just do Aaron Jones first because, like, people are frothy for Chargers. Like, we might not get Ladd on the way back.
That's a good
point. People are losing their minds over the Chargers right now. Like, they're a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get our squatters' rights on Chargers.
Okay.
You hear that, Dub City? You hear that? Squatters' rights on Chargers.
He's never used the username DubCity814 on anything. Like, I don't know why he chose that for his underdog name whenever I sent him the promo code. When I was grinding for like $10 referrals, like, yo, please sign up and like use this so I can draft like puppies. Like, please. And like usually his name was like Sly McIntosh. That's usually his like moniker.
Dude, that would have been a sick underdog.
I know. I'm like, what Dub's like putting on for DuBois, Pennsylvania. You got to respect it.
That's good.
So, have you been talking playoff best ball with Dub City? It seems like he knows what he's doing in here.
Yeah, no, he's well aware of trying to build the Super Bowl and knowing he's got to get 5 there. He's got the red badge. We chop it up. He'll call me on Sundays and like tell me about his sweats and stuff. He's a grinder.
That's right. Yeah, so Dub City has gone. Barkley now ripping in his Chiefs here. Mahomes, Kelsey, and Worthy.
That is a fun way to do Eagles Chiefs.
For sure, especially with those running back. Like Hunt's always there late if you need him, and Pacheco falls in a ton of drafts. Like if you've kind of cornered the Chiefs and then you have patience on him,
nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like by the time the Super Bowl rolls around,
Joshua Palmer is out for Wild Card Weekend.
Oh wow!
The Chargers are thin, man. If QJ's, have we gotten the practice report on?
Yeah, let me check. Wow.
Let's see. So we want to go a combination of Addison, Goddard here. Behind us has Goff, Henry, AJ Brown, and Jameson. So we got to go Goddard first on an AJB team behind us, I think.
Yeah, I think he's just clicking buttons, but yeah.
He is clicking buttons. Minnesota would be a wild click for him here, but we're not all Dub City. Can't trust him to stay in their lane.
He's finally in the chat now.
Where is he?
He says I grind. There he is. Coach Nez.
Coach Nez, do you want to explain yourself for sniping us on AJ Brown when we were setting up the perfect Eagles team?
He's an Eagles believer.
This guy snaps off Addison. I knew it.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Is Hawkins still there?
Yeah,
I would think so.
He's still. Yeah.
Do we need Dobbins or did he get, I'm sorry.
How about our first round pick, Kyron, sitting there?
Yeah, but we have
no.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
You're right. I think we should do Dobbins first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this team kind of goes to shit without it.
Many are saying it already has.
What?
No. The hardest part about the randomizer wheel is that everybody knows what we're doing with the randomizer wheel. It'd be really good to randomize behind closed doors. We laugh about it and then we draft it. But I guess it would become like, because like everyone knew we were waiting on Chargers there. We could have faked them out and like swerved and had like a Texans back stack, or we could have, but no, everyone knows we won't do that when we roll Chargers, you know?
I will say he might be L City 814 with this lineup because Papa Nez currently has one individual putting up points in the wild card round after his 4 straight Chiefs followed by David Montgomery.
Oh, how many can he only draft? Can he only field 4? No, he's got 5. Wait, he's got Saquon Barkley. Don't you know he almost set the rushing record?
All right. Relax. Hey, I'm just a little pissed at Papa Nez right now, and I want to see if he can stick the landing.
I'm gonna call him after this. Don't worry.
Papa Nez, free advice. Wow. Kyron,
not even watching the show.
Just Kyron plus Cup.
Unreal.
Hey, we saw Mims one there on the end. Mims Sutton, but isn't it with Josh Allen team from 101?
Wow. No. He went Gibbs.
Nice.
This is what you call influencer right here. You stream it immediately. Someone's in here ripping off Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims team at the 6-7 turn.
We are inspiring so many free thinkers out here. I'm so proud.
Open up your mind, BadgeBros Nation, to the possibilities.
Oh man!
All right, what are we doing here? Are we? I
think it's Hawk.
Okay,
but I will say so. We did get news. QJ is now questionable. I definitely think that's good.
Very appealing for us.
So I think if we're playing Eagles to the Super Bowl and Hurts, I think we should get Gainwell on this team to have our Eagles running back.
Taking Gainwell ahead of like Joe Mixon and stuff like that. It always feels so funny.
Yeah.
But like Joe Mixon has no place on this team.
Of course not.
No. He has a place on D Crib's team, who is now, well, dude, this is one of the weird, like some of these picks make sense. Like at least he's doing Mixon and Nico together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Addison pick was really just to stick it to us.
Yeah.
As was the AJ Brown. He takes Darnold. What is this guy? I guess he has Goff.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I'll allow it.
He's going to knock him out the next round. Oh, I guess. No, they could reseed.
I think it's Gainwell, or I think with Hurts we can wait on Herbert, right?
Yeah, because it's no big deal, right? Like we don't need Herbert.
Not huge.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're fine without him.
The dream planned lane is Herbert plus QJ.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah, he'd be a nice to have, but not obviously a need to have. Mm-hmm. He's a want play.
The other thing to do would be playing another AFC team who would face the Chargers in the conference championship and grabbing a twofer.
Yeah, it's ugly once the Broncos stuff's gone because you can't get Bills, you can't get Chiefs, you can't get whatever. So it leaves us with Steelers, and then Steelers reseed. But Steelers, you only want to take Steelers if you take a running back, right? So you could take like one off George Pickens, but it's kind of like.
Well, what I would say is this: I actually do think you could take Chiefs because we have a ton of guys playing in round one. Like if we were able to pull off, it probably won't last, but like a Hollywood Hopkins double tap, like I think that, or not. No, we wouldn't do Chiefs because the Chargers are playing them round two.
Yeah, the only way that works is if Steelers upset, and then they reseed.
Yeah, you could do like what would it have to be, like Likely and Aguilar? It would have to be a combo like that. If you didn't want to go
Baltimore's the cleanest. Yep.
But do we I think we just do the Herbert QJ.
Herbert
right?
QJ. Yeah, Herbert QJ, I think.
Yeah, stick to the plan.
This guy is terrifying me, but he really shouldn't
take QJ first.
I'm telling you, he terrifies me in both directions.
No, you're right. I think Herbert. I think this guy might not think that one QB is safe enough with his bye week, and he wants to go Herbert just in case.
All right.
Put yourself in the mind.
I can't.
E Cribs.
I literally can't.
Enter his mind palace. Think how he thinks. I'm telling you,
man. look at this sandwich right now. This warfare we got going on between Dub City and D Cribs right now,
not where you
putting our
wanna be.
minds in a blender.
Not where you want to be.
Did Dub
You were
City?
right. He goes to third QB.
I told you.
You were right.
Wow.
I've been there. I've been D Cribs before. I was once D Cribs.
I was
scared about not getting my first round money back. I was once him.
Yeah,
so this is an interesting team. I do think I think we built it to the best of our abilities. I am a little worried about both of them having a week 5 bye. I should mention that. I just kind of see it in the chat there. No reaction to that. Okay. I think the one interesting thing would be if we didn't go Herbert, where would we use that extra skill position?
Yeah, I think I mean, I know Chiefs don't line up well, but I do think that would have been a possibility, right? Because you only need one Chief to pair with those Eagles that we have.
But we only have 3 Eagles or 4 Eagles? We added Gainwell. Oh yeah.
Goddard, Devontae, Gainwell, Hurts. Yeah, so
I'm a sucker for doing that. Once I have 4 teams, I love just like pissing people off and just taking like one extra player. Like, oh, another Super Bowl. Got another Super Bowl.
Nicole Hardman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that too, but I think I would probably still just do the one-off as like the Ravens, playing like Eagles, Ravens, Super Bowl. Maybe we grab Likely there, and then you have the Eagles, and then the one-off Likely, and then you still have the chance to get Ravens and Chargers in the conference championship.
That was fun.
All right, that was fun. Be careful. Do not try this at home without, a doctor on hand, et cetera, et cetera. But I do think hopefully that gives you the, the mental, juice to go try some different stuff. One thing I wanted to talk about before we do a few more drafts was, and it's kind of dovetails with this conversation, right? Like, who is on your wish list down the drafting stretch before these contests lock on Saturday that you guys want to get, whether it's pairings of Super Bowl teams or just teams you guys haven't gotten enough of yet? Who do you want to bully the randomizer wheel into forcing you to select?
Commanders plus Rams plus Chargers as a 3-team build.
Okay. Have you been drafting them individually or?
I'm obsessed with this scroll the F down, putting 3 scrolls together right now, knowing that my volume is going to be low.
Yeah.
Like just, I guess it doesn't matter in like $100 contest that's 5 max. I guess I could still play the chalk, but like I'm obsessed with this being the guy who shows up with what nobody else is going to show up with. And when I think about that, I go pass funnel, first week Commanders, Rams then reseed, then they meet in the conference final, and then I guess it doesn't have to be Chargers from the other side. It could be anyone, but like Chargers feel like the most obtainable, backstackable to put with that.
Yeah.
You could lead with Ravens though. So you could start Lamar, someone, and then you could go Rams and Washington.
I think the Commanders are super interesting, right? Because we know Jane Daniels can break a slate. We know they're super explosive. Like beating the Bucks is not like a crazy thing. And they are built to go in and compete with these other top teams in the NFC. And their ADPs are so cheap. I mean, McLaurin's first off the board, 35.2, Jaden 40. Ertz is free. The running backs are free. If you are playing them to the Super Bowl, like you could tack on a Zacchaeus or whatever. I think them and the Packers are my wish list teams that I want to get more of. Because the Packers too, like, I don't know, maybe I'm holding on to some stuff we saw earlier in the season, but I still have this in my head of like, if they're forced to pass and Jordan Love starts cooking again and they get in some of these shootouts with teams, it's hard. It's going to be hard to run on the Eagles. I just think some of the like Jordan Love pass catching stack stuff could be really fun.
I agree with you. The problem for me, like as far as like the answer to that question for me is like I've already bought the top on the Packers, and and now they're fucking free in every gauntlet. When I was like taking like second round Jacobs to pair with like I was doing a lot of like Bills, Packers, Chiefs, Packers. Like I pretty much have all my Packers combos covered because I was like really convinced that they were going to be like a contender. And I still think that they can be. I think their defense is really underrated. And I still think Jordan Love, like I'm still a Jordan Love believer. Losing Watson definitely hurts. And the fact that I've already like packed my bags, I won't be doing that much more. But I agree with you guys on the Commanders. I think the NFC to me is wide open. Where I have trouble getting different and opening my third eye it's with the AFC. I can't do anything other than like Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs now whenever I'm like sitting down for a gauntlet and drafting. And I just feel like that really limits like what I can do there because Derrick Henry is like a first 2-round pick, James Cook first 2-round pick, and then now after that it's like okay what running back am I pairing with? Well, if I want to do it with the Eagles or the Lions, like it's just like kind of hard to build around those teams. So like right now, like what I've been comfortable with is doing Chiefs with like insert NFC team here, like Chiefs. Vikings, very doable, very fun, can build good teams. But I think I am like Chargers are probably like the next best thing for me to like step out of my comfort zone and build AFC wise. But like these Commanders and Rams Super Bowls are really, really interesting. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing before this contest closes.
What's funny is like the Commanders team fantasy wise is kind of built like the Bills or I guess like the Eagles were just so top heavy, with it. And then it's like all the other positions are like super spread out, where you don't feel great necessarily taking a lot of those guys. But in the same way you take Ty Johnson, you take Matt Collins on your Bills stuff because you're like, if they make it to the Super Bowl, these are going to be really unique pieces. It is really interesting if you just say balls on the wall. Like, what if the Commanders are the Bills? Whatever. What if they go to the Super Bowl and you get the top 2 guys and then you tack on 2 more? You tack on one of the running backs and then one of those pass catchers, either Ertz or whatever. Maybe you don't even have to go to the Zacchaeus because just having Ertz as a 4th piece is going to be so unique in itself. But those kind of scenarios, to John's point, to your guys' point, it's not that far-fetched in the NFC. And no one's going to do it.
The other thing with the Commanders is like their quarterback prior to last week, he scored 28 fantasy points plus in like 5 straight. It's like 26 straight or five straight games of 26 plus or whatever. So it's like you can also run it as a 1 quarterback team, which is abnormal for a team that you stack late.
Right. Yeah. It really like opens yourself up because you're getting Jaden Daniels and you can tack on these really hard to pair skill position players.
And they're going to face 2 pass funnels. They're going to face the Bucs in week 1, and then if they win, they'll be the lowest remaining seed unless the Packers win as well, and they'll face Detroit, right? Whereas the Packers will have to do something that nobody's been able to do, throw on Cooper DeJean and that secondary since it's been like him and Mitchell. Like nobody's been able to pass on them. And then
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, other than Jaden Daniels. Yeah, exactly. And then they would have to go. Then they go to Lions and you get the pass funnel as well. So yeah, I don't know. That one's interesting. They've been their pass rate over expectation has plummeted in the last 7 weeks, though. The Packers.
The other kind of added benefit to a little bit of this Galaxy branding, and it kind of takes me back to some stuff we've talked about with Battle Royale weeklies. Like how many times, at least 2 or 3 times this year where we've looked at the board and been like, the entire first round was a landmine, or the entire 1-2 turn was a landmine, or the entire second round was a landmine. Like you just couldn't win. And it was just like, man, the team that took it down, like ended up just kind of like reaching for a guy 10 picks past and just skipped over that. There's the added benefit of not only could you potentially be getting on, some sleeper teams, but you might just skip over some picks that could just wipe out like entire swaths of the contest. And so you get that double whammy of avoiding a mine and building a super team when you kind of bust free from the shackles of ADP, which again, I've been tethered to it myself in a lot of these drafts, but like doing the show with you guys has definitely emboldened me to try to get a little more weird because the opportunity cost isn't as big as it seems.
Right. Like how many times would we be playing a daily slate and we'd be like, Devonta Smith's ADP is wrong. Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta. And those guys all go in the second and third round because people push them up to stack. Like, it's so easy that like the Laporta and Jameson Williams could just, well, they're not going to play week 1. And then just only one of them hits week week 2, or they cannibalize one another week 2. And that's the landmine that you're fading to then reach below and just go, by the way, you get 2 games of Jaden Daniels plus Terry plus Eckler in the last round or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also like grabbing, Brian Robinson feels better than taking, fucking Ty Johnson or something, like you're buying more touches like on a Super Bowl run with some of those guys. To me, it's like fun in that it actually kind of feels comfy in that you're middling the like, man, hard to believe like Joe Mixon and the Texans could win a game or go on a run, but you're actually getting to bank a decent amount of touches. You're getting to middle the 2 extremes of like concentrated offenses that are probably dead to make the Super Bowl, but then like the super fringe pieces that are likely to do nothing but maybe give you the Mecole Hardman game in the Super Bowl. Or like Brian Robinson, if they go on a run, like one of Eckler or him are going to have a usable week for sure.
Yeah.
Eckler, I think is a pretty fun 4th option if you're looking for people to cycle in if you're doing Commanders.
This is a good like come full circle moment to what we talked about at the top of like the landscape of the teams that are fantasy friendly also have paths to getting there in a nice way. Whereas like, I don't think the Texans can upset twice, right? Even though they're home favorites against the Chargers, but like, I don't think they can win 2 games, right? And if they do win 2 games, it's probably because of pressure rate on the defensive side. And it's probably because Joe Mixon goes nuke 1 game, not that it brings everyone along and they all go nuke together kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to like think. I mean, I think that all makes sense. But I'm with you. Like, it just feels so thin for the Chargers, for the Texans, right? To do that like 2 times, but
right. But if I told you Jaden Daniels went back-to-back 30 burgers, that guarantees that Terry's coming along for 17, and that guarantees that one of the running backs is coming along for like 12 plus.
Yeah.
That range outcome. That range of outcomes easier to paint with the Broncos on that side than it is to paint with, some of the other ones. Yeah. Anyways.
All right. We're going to close with a few Big Mitten 2 drafts. These are the $100 ones here. We got 5 spots available. There will be no randomizer wheel for these, although I'm sure John will push us into some randomizer-esque directions. But happy to come stay in your lane and draft with us. In the Big Mitten 2, this structure, 2 of 6. But instead of being like 1 of 10 for the Gauntlet, this is the benefit of being in a higher dollar, smaller contest. It's only 1 of 4 to advance in round 2, 1 of 4 in round 3, and then just a 23-seat final. So if you are trying to allocate a budget for these contests and you do want to kind of increase your chances of making a final, these smaller contests are really the way to do it. I mean, the difference between back-to-back 1 of 4, 1 of 4 to back-to-back 110, 110, it's massive.
Yeah, and plus it's 5 max too, so you're not getting like a bunch of you're not getting like going up against the 150s, right? I mean, it's only 5 max. Like, that's also a really nice feather in the cap of this contest.
Yep. There's also the $500 contest in the lobby as well. That one is 2 of 6, 1 of 4, 1 of 4. So same structure for 3 rounds, but then it's only a 9-seat final instead of a 23.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you could show up with like a 4-player Super Bowl and find yourself laddering up pretty quickly.
Dude, that changes the dynamic in a big way. Like, you don't necessarily even have to build for 5 in the Super Bowl.
People have been like mid cash maxing in that one. At least from what I've heard.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Like Joe Mixon's a good pick in that one. He's a bad pick in the Gauntlet.
I agree with you.
Like, even if he puts up 30 in week 1, it doesn't fucking matter. It knocks out
bigger mitten.
It knocks out like one team in your pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, GG's.
Do you guys want to do a Lamar team from the 2?
I like the Baltimore stuff.
Yeah, it feels so nice, man. It feels really cozy.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, you just get your money back for advancing in the bigger mitten too. as well. So like the people doing that, it just cracks me up. But
There you go. There's the edge. You play to win. Show me a Marvin Mims team in the big mitten, and I'll give you a free gift card to buy an off and on the clock piece of merchandise.
There you go.
what's great? I mean, that's worth three big mitten entries.
Yeah, I just want to see how sick these people really are.
Hey, shout out to Drew Vogel in the chat. Hadn't seen him in a minute. Stuck around forever. Respect it.
What's up, Drew?
Love it.
Wants to Baltimore, Detroit.
So he came on stream maybe like what 6 months ago or something. Let's make this pick here.
Yeah,
Henry's the only piece gone. I like Andrews.
Well, what do you think we could set up the NFC stuff first? Like we could do Amon Ra here. And then come back to Andrews. Because Crutches has Buffalo. I guess he could do Andrews, but I doubt he's going to go.
He's going to take Amon Ra if we don't. He's going to go Amon Ra.
Let's take Amon Ra. Let's take it. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's definitely taking James Cook. But I like the idea of getting Amon Ra opposite with the slide there.
Yeah, we're going to need Justice Hill at some point with this one.
Yeah, for sure. Which is just like the case for most Lamar teams, right? Because you're never getting Lamar and Henry.
Yeah, unless you're in a room with some guy spinning a wheel and drafting up the Super Bowl teams.
So now here's a really tricky thing. Do we take JMO?
Shit, man. I mean, I kind of want to.
Go for it.
I like Mark Andrews, but there's so many Baltimore pieces that we did get word Zay is officially out this week. So I can go either way on this.
I like Ball. We're gonna be split. So you just pick.
I know.
All right. Let's have some fun. Let's put baby in a corner.
Come on, dude. JMO. You gotta take JMO, man. JMO's the fucking man. Come on. This if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, man, JMO's gonna be like a 3rd round pick next year. I mean, people are just gonna have way too much fun watching this dude in the playoffs if they make a run.
I thought you were gonna say if JMO makes it to the Super Bowl this year, we're winning the big bet.
Well, we are.
Okay.
And then I'm completely vindicated for all of my JMO love for years and years.
Yeah.
But John was going to mention Drew Vogel came into our chat once, Pete. I don't know if you know the Drew Vogel lore, and was hating on us, ripping on us,
really
like crazy. Oh yeah. And then somebody
told people not to watch us.
Yeah, he said don't watch these guys. And then he got gifted a membership, and now he's like still here.
And now he's still here. I love it.
Why did he say not watch you guys?
I have no idea.
John probably threw out some crazy like batshit like Brain stuff.
He was not familiar with my game.
So one dynamic we need to be prepared for is we now have a team building the exact same as us, a Baltimore and Detroit team right here. So we definitely need to lock up Bateman.
Yeah, with our after this pick, because I don't think Crutches is going to go Bateman.
Yeah. And then I think the play is to dare him to take Montgomery with one of his next picks and take a ton of zeros this round.
Right. Yeah.
So
do you want to go Bateman here?
I think we have to take Bateman here, but I think this would be a spot to potentially take Bucky as well.
Yeah, I think we need some RB points.
Do we take Bucky first?
Yes.
No, because Crutches isn't gonna. Okay, go for it.
It won't matter. Sure. He won't take Bateman.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna take Kyron.
Yeah, if we took Kyron, he would be pissed.
He's gonna take Kyron. Yeah, and so I think Bucky for us to get us running back points is massive.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to have some points there.
And then we can be thinking through what we want our other. Yeah. So then he goes Kyron Ladd. I think Bateman's the obvious pick. Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then, so do we know, is this guy, is he a viewer watching?
Who?
I think so. That dude building. Is that Rowan?
Yes. The guy, but yeah.
Yeah. Rowan. Yeah. It's Rowan. Yeah. He's literally right here.
No, I would be, if he takes Montgomery, it's fine because he's pretty much dead to advance with just Andrews through 5 rounds.
I'm curious if he's going to go Likely or Justice Hill here, knowing that like if he doesn't get them here, we're probably splitting those two. Oh, he goes Zay. Wow,
he just punted.
I know, dude. He just took another bye week player.
Yeah.
Dead.
Maybe you try to pull this off in the gauntlet, but you're dead. Andrews plus whatever your last 4 picks aren't going to do it.
Yeah, he's got a hard pivot here.
Yeah, I mean, what's the pivot? It's Mixon, Nico, like that, right?
Commanders.
Has to be the pivot, or hammer Commanders.
Yeah, like just like find a way to get your money back.
Yeah, problem with Commanders is they play Lions. So at least if you do Houston, they won't meet. They basically can't meet Baltimore until the conference championship. Yeah, he goes Nico Mixon. That's the only way to save it. Shouldn't have told him.
Okay. Let's see here what we want to do. So
we would like Justice Hill and Isaiah Likely on this team, I think.
Yes.
Three other picks here for us.
I think we do Likely first.
I think so. Do we do that right now, or do we do like a Josh Jacobs or another like advance rate piece?
Jacobs isn't terrible because they don't meet until the conference championship.
Let's just take Likely first. Crutches isn't going to take Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. Can we push Monty through or no?
I think we can. Well, someone might take him as a one-off, but I mean, there's Ronem isn't going to take him.
Let's take Montgomery then and see what happens.
No, I'm just saying Montgomery's going to come back.
Oh, you think he comes back? Okay.
Yeah, he can't take him.
Okay.
I think we do. Do you want to just lock? What if we did McMillan?
Okay.
I mean, there's another Bucks team, and like if we're going to commit to the Bucky thing, like he's really the only other piece that I think makes sense and can help us advance here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I got you guys here talking this through because I would just be doing some dumb shit probably.
I think there's a few different things that made sense for us there, but now look at our team, right? Round 1, we have Lamar, Bucky, Rashad, and Likely with no Zay, and then Jalen McMillan. So we're definitely have enough firepower for round 1.
Yeah. I play a little too scared for round 1 sometimes. I think I'm just like I got my 5 Super Bowls and now like let me do everything I can to get through. I would probably have done something a little more scared.
Well, I think the one thing
he just took Justice Hill.
Yeah, I mean that hurts for us, but his team is dead. We can draft. We could tack on one of like the Keaton Mitchell or Ollie, like play that as the Super Bowl. But in this format, in the gauntlet, I think I would do that. I don't know if we have to do that.
That's true.
On this one.
Yeah, the problem is all the running back points that we'd be looking to get right now all overlap with us no matter what. The only one that you could potentially do is Broncos running back. Because even Jacobs would meet Detroit next round.
So I think we definitely do Montgomery here because then we're basically we're just saying Baltimore versus Bucks or Lions Super Bowl, and we're getting our running back points from there.
It's a snap pick if he makes it here.
Yeah.
He'll make it.
And then, so we'll have 2 more picks after that.
Yeah. Do we want these
Nelson Aguilar, or do you want to build out another team with it?
So we could go. We'll snap. I mean, Crutches isn't gonna. I don't think he would, but I think we just lock it up regardless because his path is actually no. Yeah, the 4-5s. Let's just lock up Montgomery.
Yeah, because he could do a Montgomery for like another Super Bowl with his Bills team.
Yeah.
Montgomery would actually be a really good pick for him.
Yeah.
So we could pivot to like something with Chiefs. We could take Tim Patrick as another Lion. Or do you want like an advance rate piece?
I'm team advance rate piece.
Do you want to do Otten?
That works with these Bucks. Is he suiting up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do Otten.
He or did I not get it in time? Let's see. Whew. That was close.
We can't see what you're typing. I
Oh,
don't know
my
what
bad.
screen we're being shared with. So like I was like nervous. Like whenever you queued up McMillan, I was like, dude, I don't see him in the queue.
Sorry.
No, I
Sorry.
trusted you.
Yeah,
I trusted you.
Otten just went LP DNP full P, something like that.
Yeah.
Rare.
No, LP full
Okay.
P. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be good to go. I think he's a really strong pick in these because he has not been getting selected in a lot of those early drafts, right? Like when he was missing, like I doubt people were taking Cade.
No, definitely not. Especially because like Bucks low drafted. They were looking like potentially people liked them as an advanced rate team, and then it looked like they might not make the playoffs, and now they're back. Yeah, people were going McMillan over Cade as well.
What do you guys think here with the last one? Like instinct would just be like Nelson Aguilar. You could also do like Tim Patrick. You could also do I think we might need running back points. You could do like Rachaad White and put both the Bucks ones on there.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like we have the Super Bowl. Like we have our Super Bowl. Like we have like a very, very good Ravens Lions Super Bowl. I'd like to keep this team alive.
Yeah. So do you like? Was that a vote for Rachaad?
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Because like with only Bucky as your running back score, like I mean you can do it, but
yeah, we've seen them share workloads too, and I think it's good. I think it's good.
Well, I like the Bucky Rachaad pairings a lot because I know everyone is just swung in the direction of Bucky. I completely get it, but if they get in a mega trailing game script, like even if you play them beating the Commanders and then going on the road in round 2 and they're trailing a bunch, like Rachaad White's going to play a shit ton, man. Like we saw that this season, that stretch of games when they played KC and they played Baltimore and whatever, like Rachaad was just on the field. And I know that was pre like Bucky really emerging, but I'm just like, this team is not done with Rachaad White if they get the game script they need him in.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. I want to do another one here, Nez.
Ready.
Let's do it. All right. This is another Big Mitten here. We're going to do Big Mitten 2. If you want to come draft with us.
I think this is my first PM too. Yeah. Not you. Not you, Coach Nez.
5 more here. We'll rip off a couple more of these. 2 more to end the show if you guys have been looking to get in some Big Mitten bullets and get these filled quickly.
Yeah, it's my very first Big Mitten 2. I did all 5 of my first Big Mittens. And I think those are mostly Vikings. No, they're a little all over the board. I have a Ravens, Packers, 3 Ravens, 1 with Tampa Bay and Minnesota, 2 with Tampa Bay, Minnesota, actually. So a lot of Ravens in my $100 drafts. All right, friends and family here. Look at Blake. Look at what the cat drag did. Blake in the $100 streets. Let's go.
Yeah, and so
interesting too.
As far as like these contests, what's interesting, right? So they dropped. So the Gauntlet is 92%. They did drop the Mitten 3, which has a little room to run, 41%. Summit is almost full. Big Mitten 2 is at 67%. So we'll probably get another one final wave of some contests maybe tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah, it'll be depending on like what the battle royales are looking like, but
yeah,
it seems like people might have more interest in the playoff best ball than the battle royales at this point.
I think you're right. And well, we're going to test that tomorrow at 2 p.m. So the only difference for us tomorrow, guys, is we're still going to have the normal off and on the clock show, same format, everything, wildcard weekend. We're just going to start a little bit earlier. So we have a bit more time. I won't have my regular DFS show. So we're going to start at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Otherwise, same as usual.
All right. See,
you're muted, John.
I think maybe we'll try and run something for the Dog Bowl hoops associated with that too. We got some good news. Embiid just got the out tag now, so we don't even have to worry about it.
No funny business, thank God.
Yeah.
All right. The usual Josh Allen, Lamar, Hurts off the board. We could try to do another Detroit team. We could do Saquon, help us get through, or Henry, and maybe try to do some Detroit around him. What do you guys like?
Saquon sounds kind of fun to me, or Henry.
Let's try to do Saquon. I said off the top, I'm having trouble building out these Eagles teams. And then and then AFC side, that'll be the interesting part of this.
I don't think you'll have trouble building it out here because I can't imagine anyone takes it. After Hurts goes on your left, it's like so much easier to just do like Saquon, AJ Brown here because nobody's going to do like AJ Brown, Devonta Smith without Hurts. Like,
yeah. So I think either Keith or Magikarp are going to grab Mahomes. If not, that would be really awesome to do Saquon, AJ Brown, Mahomes.
Is fun. Yeah,
it's so nice, man, because like these Chiefs pass catchers go late. You only need 2 or 3 of them, depending on what other people do. Oh, he goes Jefferson. Nice.
Oh, fun.
Well, he might go Jefferson Mahomes. So I don't want to speak too soon.
What do you guys think about Gibbs? I don't know. We've been talking about it on ship chasing. I'm starting to think, like, I love Gibbs. We all love Gibbs. I just feel like the David Montgomery stuff isn't like properly getting baked in enough. Like, I think everyone just has like blinders that this is happening.
It's just like an ADP thing, right? If you want, I mean, like, I guess like if you prefer to play Lions around Amon-Ra, you can always do that. And it goes Mahomes. So we are not getting a Ravens, Bills, or Chiefs Super Bowl around this Barkley team. But we do get AJ Brown, so we can sort of push that off. Or another option, which I'm not advocating for, but I'm just putting it out there, is like doing Derrick Henry and like bullying the shit out of the first round and then pairing some low likelihood Super Bowls. But I think AJ Brown, right?
I think probably AJ. Yeah.
Last call, John.
Yeah, let's do AJ.
Okay.
The problem with doing, like, you could play the Super Bowl that way and play the problem is you want to play the Super Bowl through that. Andrews isn't coming back because Lamar drafter takes one of them.
Oh, we're not. Yeah. It would strictly be to just like a hilarious advance rate piece, basically, with Derrick Henry, if we did that.
So then, who do you play as a AFC team?
Probably Chargers. I mean, we're gonna have to. We have that same question posed to us, anyways. Who are we doing for the AFC? It's gonna have to be Chargers.
Yeah, so then you may as well have a strong NFC start.
Yeah, because like Texans are a no-go. Obviously, no Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. So it's Broncos, Steelers, Texans, you know.
Oh
yeah,
Pete just said exactly what I just was about to say.
Okay, let me see that.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. I fully agree. Like it sets up perfectly because they can't overlap either.
So do you want to, before we do that, AFC wise?
I think we can play.
Like why would we go Devonta here if we're doing that? And there
he goes. He goes. What I mean, I think we would take.
I think we would take a Chief, right?
Yeah, I think Kelsey or Worthy is awesome.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Yeah, unless you guys see a contrarian path in the AFC that you prefer.
Well, all the contrarian paths are still available, right? Like
true.
I would probably prefer Worthy, unless you guys have a preference on Kelsey.
I'm Kelsey over Worthy.
Are you? Okay.
I think I'm Worthy. I'll go. Okay. I'll break with you.
Okay.
I'm waiting for that Kelsey playoffs. They've been saving them. Here comes 8 targets that are 5 yards downfield.
I'm waiting for them to wait for them to extend the field a quarter inch, and then Xavier Worthy goes for 30 every game.
All right. Not a lot of Chiefs here. Do we want to start Operation NFC, or what do you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Unless you want to take one more Eagle, but yeah.
I don't get why we would do that.
Okay.
That's fine. All right. Let's grab Terry. Yeah, and then on the AFC side, so we got our Chiefs. And then it would basically be if we wanted to play any Ravens or Bills as kind of secondary.
I was thinking about Shakir at that pick. But I'm totally fine with doing a hard Commanders pivot.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously like Shakir. It's so hard that none of those pass catchers like
Pacheco.
separate from each other in a way where you keep just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
Pacheco.
You want to go Pacheco first?
Yep.
Okay. I'm with it.
Yeah.
We can get him through probably with very little issue with, grabbing these high powered players, right? With Saquon, AJ Brown, a Terry stack, we're counting on it hitting.
And you're going to get a running back out of the Washington stack as well.
Right.
I don't care which one. Like
Yeah.
You're going to get points at running back in the first to carry Pacheco.
Yep.
These teams set up really nice together.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Let's take a look here. We could probably push Jaden Daniels.
I'd rather not, because then we're completely caught with our pants down and everything doesn't matter after that.
Well, we're in a $100 draft, and these guys don't need a second quarterback right now.
Okay.
But we did spend the entire first stream telling Rohim his team is dead, so he might have some spite pick equity in him.
I mean,
yeah. And like,
what do you go Hollywood?
That Hollywood's fine.
Yeah, like I just wouldn't trust the room enough there, because then our team's dead. Because like we have no backstack quarterback stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's like, what's the difference in 1v1ing Hollywood versus Hopkins? Because one of the two is going to come back.
I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Marcus Mariota starts to look real good.
Yeah, I think Hollywood has looked better. I mean, I would prefer Hollywood regardless, but yeah, I don't know what these guys would be doing taking a 7th round Jaden Daniels with their Josh Allen, Lamar, or Jalen Hurts teams.
Till equity, that's the only thing.
Yeah, I forgot that we're.
And
are we live?
Right now,
are we live?
I won't tilt. I'll be fucking stoic as shit.
Oh, nice, cool, an easy pivot for us.
Easy pivot for us.
Take it in stride.
I gotta hit 2 hoops things in the chat. Grim Diggity, I did a full 1.5-hour show on it. Go watch it. It's literally right fucking over here somewhere. And
I love how you're like, I gotta hit 2 hoops things in the chat. Already fucking hit it, bro.
All right, here you go. We can rest easy with this Jaden Daniels pick. Trust the process, man. Trust your draft mates here. We got a bunch of badges up. You think Blake would ever do something to hurt us, John? You think Blake would ever do something to tilt us? No way.
That's true. The other one was, people were asking earlier what happens with the canceled game. They all get out tags and they all swap. And if you watched the show, you would have known that. And it's the classic MLB slate all over again. So there you go.
Okay. We're on the clock here, and I think this would probably be B-Rob. We only have 3 more picks.
Yeah, I like B-Rob. I like Hurts. I don't want to take a 4th running back on this team, so we can find scroll the F down.
Okay.
Or a contrarian Chiefs piece would fit really nice. So if you want to take
B-Rob for this pick is good though. I mean, okay. I don't think we're in anyone's lane at this point. We have running backs around our 3 teams.
Yeah. So just to recap what we have right now, we're having Jaden Daniels team with Saquon, Pacheco, and B-Rob, AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, McLaurin, and Hollywood. So we have that Chiefs Commander Super Bowl on lock. It's just a matter of maybe pairing like a low-owned piece with these guys. And I know you said you don't really. I guess I'm with you. Like 4 running backs is like I'm way more willing to do that. But I agree. I hear you.
Yeah.
So what do we think? Ertz here?
Yeah, I like it. You could also do Gainwell if you wanted the 4 running back thing, but
I think we get more firepower at. Yeah, let's do Ertz.
Let's do Ertz and Noah Brown.
You think a commander here?
What other Chiefs are there?
Noah Gray, Justin Watson, Juju,
McCole Hardman.
Is he even in the player pool or Mecole?
There you go.
So let's see here. Zacchaeus, like I'm looking at projections for just wild card. Zacchaeus actually projects the best by about 2 points over
That one's
Diami.
such a weird situation because like when he popped off the last couple weeks, those guys were out, right?
Which guys? Like
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown's been out for a long time.
No
Yeah.
Brown's out this week.
Yeah.
I think Austin Eckler could potentially eat into that role. If you guys want some really good alpha, when I went to the Steelers Commanders game, all of the Commanders fans around me were like, "Why do they love Zacchaeus so much? They love Olamide Zacchaeus." So I think I'm going to keep giving the ball to Olamide Zacchaeus, guys.
I mean, he's played well.
Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, I think him or Gray would
Yeah.
be my picks there.
Good with either.
I mean, we're making this team depends on the Commanders going to the Super Bowl. So I'm kind of inclined to just rip it in.
Yeah, because this would give us five Commanders if it's a Commanders and not Chiefs.
Yeah. Like to Nez's point, like there's a chance if they go nuts that you could be live even without any AFC pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, much smaller pods here too. I kind of like in the way they've spread stuff out. It would be so tilting to have the thesis be correct and then it's like you miss out on advancing because one of them has the massive game. No, I see Jack shouting for Eckler in the chat. We needed more wide receiver firepower on this team.
I hear him. I'm a sucker for doing four running backs, even though it's suboptimal.
Really?
Yeah, I just because like I think that there's such like flex equity there that even if you can't start more than one, you still give yourself an option at that flex position there. And I think Eckler is pretty live to potentially outscore B-Rob or Olamide in the Super Bowl, but based on how this team was currently set up, I'm okay with how he played it.
And not that it's the end all be all for stuff, but it is helpful to look at like the projections, and ETR has Brian Robinson for a little over 1.5 more points than Eckler, and then has Eckler and Olamide like really close, 7.8 versus 7.6. So I think if comparable projection, breaking
that
it
helps
to the wide receiver makes sense.
For sure.
Which contingent upside's better?
Well, that one's obvious, yeah. Well, maybe not the way Olamide's exploded.
Yeah. Olamide 15 targets without Terry.
Yeah.
Then we're screwed either way.
I realize we haven't been listing off the teams. Nez, you want to recap this team here for the audio listeners?
Yeah, let me go ahead and do the team tab. So 136, Jaden Daniels, Saquon Barkley, Isaiah Pacheco, Brian Robinson team with AJ Brown, Xavier Worthy, Terry McLaurin, Hollywood Brown, Zach Ertz, and Olamide. So we have the naked Commanders Super Bowl and the Commanders Chiefs Super Bowls on lock there.
Two round one starting running backs, mega high ceiling quarterback. I mean, a lot of this feels like it comes down to, can we get like really good week one games from Barkley and AJ Brown in tandem? If they can raise the floor of it, and obviously you need Commanders to win, but I'm just those two with that high equity draft picks, like we can't probably survive a dud from them in round one.
Way.
The nice thing about both of them succeeding is it isn't directly tethered to Hurts too, that you can push those two through without a Hurts, and then you outscore Hurts with Daniels.
Yeah,
True. All right, John, you want to do one more?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, we'll do one more here. I also should mention, I put this in the Discord. Fantasy Life has these like guillotine playoff contests, and I'm hosting a free one for the Deposit Kingdom. And I was trying to come up with a reward, and I already kind of regret what I said. I said at first I was like, "Come on After Dark," which sounds fun, but then I was like, some people don't want to come on camera, blah blah blah. So I offered just a 1 hour call. And then I saw people in the Discord already saying the kind of things they would want to do with that 1 hour call. People like Emo Cowboy and Dan, and making me regret this. But if that prize sounds interesting to you, hop in there. It's completely free over on the Guillotine Leagues. And it's basically like it's kind of like a mashup of the Underdog pods and the FFPC. So like the contest locks like the FFPC, your roster locks. And yet it's like this in that each week, 25% of the teams are chopped off, the bottom 25. So you're trying to get a full team in the Super Bowl while also surviving the early rounds. Pretty fun format. I wrote up some, I wrote up a little strategy for it, and there's a few articles on Fantasy Life, but it's completely free if you just want to dip your toes in and compete and then do an hour consultation call with me about whatever you want.
Whatever.
Within reason. If I log onto this Zoom and you're showing me your feet right away or something, like I reserve the right.
You'd be lucky if Evo showed you feet.
No, because it's gonna be me showing you my feet.
Oh my god. All right, I'm hopping in right now.
Okay.
5 more spots.
All right, come draft with us. Ecoxer, yeah, the BadgeBros channels are all publicly available. There's no paywalled channel. And what I'm talking about with the Discord is this is all in front of the paywall. We have paid channels in the Deposit Kingdom, but I'm talking about the announcement section. Everyone has access to that. All the BadgeBros channels, the specific sports channels, you guys can always hop in there and partake in those.
Yeah, there should be a link in the description, and if you're having trouble, just hit me up in the DMs, and I got you.
Yep.
I love feeder Overzet.
That's.
I love all the puns with Pete's name.
Too many.
The Joverzet and the Underzets and the Overzets when you're doing the bets and stuff like that. I love the GPP Pete. GP Pete.
GP feet.
I prefer Loverzet. Lower
Verzet.
Oh
yeah,
no,
that's good. No, that's
never
good.
Brick. I bricked
never bet a Loverzet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it on brand. 2 more spots.
All right, 2 more. I actually I have a hard out at 5 because I have to go. Lauren is out right now, and I have to go get April. So I will be PCing in 14 minutes. I just realized normally I have a little buffer, but Lauren is gone right now.
So we're gonna have like a mystery box like John team for the last like 3 rounds, and we have no idea how he's gonna land this plane.
It's starting in the fucking first round, boys. This shit's about to get flipped on its head. It's going Kyron, Puka, Cup, and then we're going from there.
To avoid this, do one of you want to log into StreamYard with my account so you can end the stream? If that happens, or are you guys?
Does it work like that?
Yeah, just do my email. I'll give it to you, and then I'll give you the code.
Okay.
Feeder Z 69420 is the password.
Okay.
No. All right.
We roll another 3-hole here, boys.
Did we?
I know.
Yeah.
Are we getting bored with our builds? Do we want to flip it, or?
I think if we get another Lamar team, I'm in on the Lamar team.
Okay.
If we get the Hurts pick, I want to go crazy with it and do kind of what we did with like a build that nobody else is going to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, we did just do Commanders, and Commanders were kind of part of that thesis as well. So if we don't want to double down on Commanders.
How about, can I throw one out there? Oh, I was going to say, I've been wanting to find a way to get to a Jordan Love or a Packers thing. Okay. Would you want to take like a Mahomes?
Sure. Yeah. What
do you think about that, Nez?
Yeah, I'm into it. Sorry, I'm hearing myself 3 times right now.
You're good.
Let's do this because on the other side of the board, then you don't have to make the decision either.
Hang on, Nez. So
I know what I gotta do. I know what I gotta do.
Okay, you gotta drop off, and then I'll put you on this one.
A robot right now.
Okay, there you go. Now you just gotta switch your.
Yeah. I'm
gonna kick your other one from the stage. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Holy crap! I feel like I was having a stroke.
Sorry, I bet you had a tough spot with that. Do you now see the in-stream stuff up there?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay, good. Sorry, so I was just thinking, I mean, we don't have to do it, but if we were open there, and I'm like, I feel like Jordan Love makes sense on a Mahomes build. where you're looking for
Yeah.
an NFC quarterback and get you that round 1 stuff. And then we could,
Wow.
what do we got available here?
We got Gibbs
Gibbs
coming
came
all the way
back?
back.
Now I'm like, Gibbs comes all the way back. So
my
maybe we
life.
should throw that out
That's gonna be
because if Packers win, then they go to play the Lions. We can get rid of the Lions thing if we want, though. If this
Let's
is
do
pretty, is it rare though? Don't people just do it in flipped order?
They do. Oh wow! Are we giving up a Josh out? Wow. Okay.
You said in flipped order. I was like, "Yep, you're right."
I'm
You're not
pretty sure.
wrong.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of Gibbs, Mahomes teams.
Well, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is put to the test the thing we were talking about at the top. How many bye week players you can take early, because we're gonna probably cap out. Yeah, I think we take Xavier Worthy, and
Yep.
then we know
Hey.
we're gonna be.
The only other thing I would suggest is if you guys want to do Rams and you take Puka here, you know he's playing week 1, and then you push to see if Worthy comes back to you because nobody else has Chiefs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Who's
way better?
Magic Carp's behind us. What's the board look like?
Hold on 1 second. I want to get some shit in the queue so I don't fall asleep at the wheel here.
You're doing good. You're fine.
That was for sure the move.
Well, this Sunny Sam guy might be like, they might be doing the advance rate shit that we did with these Eagles. I'm a little sketched out right now.
So Chad Candles just tagged me in the BadgeBros channel. He was in our Rams Bucks Broncos draft, and he screenshotted the projections on it. And every team is 470 or higher, and ours has 81.
81?
That's a new record.
Oh,
That's a new record.
Xavier comes
Great.
back.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So do we do Xavier or do we push it again because they're building all AFC stuff over
I like
here?
it. Yeah, I think we go Kyron.
You take Kyron, right?
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think you just trust that these guys don't go Worthy. Because it
I
really
don't
wouldn't
trust
make
them.
sense at
It
all.
doesn't make sense at all.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, because he snaps off Aaron Jones. But what was he building? Yeah. Okay. Oh man,
Nice.
the Justin Jefferson guy got sniped on Jones there.
Yeah, man, 1 pick ahead of him. That's Allen. He's a
And this
regular
team was really hinging upon first round running back points because we are not going to get it from our second Chiefs running back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Kyron getting 4th round Kyron there was huge.
Yeah. And now you just take Worthy so that nobody else can build it out on the right-hand side of the board.
Nice job.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like I obviously prefer Pacheco to Kareem Hunt, but I'm never like crying if someone takes him. Like I'll take
Right.
Hunt. Like,
And can't you just isn't it just written in the stars that Samaje Perine scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
that does feel like the most Super Bowl ass touchdown ever.
It's because it happened like 2 years ago, didn't it?
On the Bengals?
Yeah, it was like a 34-yard wheel route in the Bengals Rams touchdown.
That's true. That
Yeah.
Once you score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, you are now like a 15th round pick in BBM. If you were like off everybody's radar, now you are like the favorite 0 RB tack on.
Okay,
as a pass catcher.
This is one plan we didn't account for is GA goes Love Jacobs.
Okay.
So now we're going to have a pivot in the NFC to be a second team. I guess it has to be Commanders again.
Commanders or Bucks.
But Mike Evans and Bucky are gone.
Then it would be amazing if then I think we would love it for it to be Commanders.
Right?
Yeah, I'm fine doing that.
Do you take
again.
Pacheco first or do you get Squatters right?
I would take
on
McLaurin.
Terry?
People are
Yeah.
because people like the matchup. They're going to try to advance with Terry,
Right.
and those are AFC teams, so
Yep.
it makes sense for them to just snag them.
Yep, and now we get another running back. We could even split our exposure here and get an Eckler share in this one if we'd like.
There
Sure.
you go.
Yeah.
I like Eckler, man. I like him.
No, I do too. I think he's strong. They it's we'll talk about it tomorrow with the BRs, but it's crazy with the Steelers, Commanders, and running back or Broncos. Those are the 3 gem, like backfields, like all going cheap. And it makes sense why no one's making a stand. But like one of those 6 guys is like gonna have a good game. And if you can figure that out, you're gonna be well positioned in the wild card BR.
It's crazy that okay, sorry. You want to go Jaden Daniels here?
I want to lock up Jaden.
Me too, because yeah.
Okay. If you think Sonny Dan is a wild card, we should lock him up now.
He's got no QBs. He's definitely nuts.
Okay.
I don't mean to be insensitive. That dude's crazy.
Well, he's building a perfectly cromulent team of stacked, non-crossing over with each other teams.
Stroud is like definitely ending up on that team, but like if I was building Stroud, maybe I'd take Jaden Daniels as like a security to like help me get through.
Yeah. But this is Sonny Dan, or what is his name? Sonny Dan. He isn't Nez Hedge out here, bro. He has
partly
a
cloudy
plan.
Dan.
No, he's going skies are fucking sunny, bro. And I'm going CJ Stroud, what we thought of him in the preseason, and Baker. And he's going 2 QB team. I'm digging what he's putting down right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's definitely watching the show.
This is why we need to build out how, Sacrilegious has a sheet of all the drafters. We need to start profiling all the big mitten drafters. Like you need to have an index. Can I push this guy around the turn or not?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you go. You got Stroud. Good work. Good work, buddy.
Yeah, interesting to take Stroud before Baker.
He's got that
is
Nico
interesting.
Mixon.
So we have 3 more picks left?
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of them is Chiefs running back. I think one of them should be Commanders running back, and then
Cup or tacked on Chiefs piece. I think Pacheco here.
Yes.
I think Cup if it comes back, and then you decide on which Washington running back comes back.
I like that. So our starting lineup, round 1, Jaden, Kyron, Puka, McLaurin. Yeah.
And then a running back too from that game.
Yep. Yeah, that extra running back will help, like, in case it is a big Puka game. I mean, Kyron can definitely have a down game.
This team has absolutely had sexual intercourse once or twice in its career. This team.
This team gets you fired. You fucking love the Rams, dude. Who are your wish list? Was it Rams, Commanders, and Chargers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah.
But this is a better way of building exactly that. And we didn't fight anyone for Chiefs. This is a better version of what I articulated.
Cup,
or I mean, it's up to you guys. If you guys want to do another Washington piece, another KC piece, I won't fight you.
I think Cup is a stronger pick.
Yeah, I think so too.
Could score in the first round.
Is this our second to last pick?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're going to go Commanders running back. Yeah, I'm good with Cup.
I mean, B-Rob went if you want Eckler for sure.
No, I prefer Cup, and I think we'll get Eckler. I think it'll be fine.
I haven't seen a single person draft.
Who took B-Rob? What team?
So, one to the left of us.
Afruyama.
He just needed a running back.
He needed an advanced piece. Okay.
Yeah, he's only got David Montgomery through 9 rounds.
Yeah.
7th round Goff, man. I never get to Goff that late. I swear.
Didn't someone in one of in the Discord post like a 9th round Goff team I saw somewhere?
Probably, I think Easy had. I was like, man, I can't get Goff late at all. And then he just like hit me with like 5 straight screenshots of late Goff that he got. I was like, thanks, man.
It is really funny how some of the rooms break. Like if you get in a stay in your lane room and the pieces fall in certain ways, like a quarterback will not make sense in a way that they'll just fall and fall.
Yeah, this is a beautiful room.
Mm-hmm. Great work, everybody.
Sonny Dan absolutely cooked until George Pickens won, though.
I mean, bro, Pickens is the Steelers are gonna win. George Pickens is gonna score a touchdown. I feel him on that.
We need week 1 points and give us access to a second Super Bowl or a third full Super Bowl with Washington, right? This is Eckler. There's
Yep.
there's no bull case for Hopkins. Okay.
No, and we kind of already talked. I mean, we did 4 Chiefs. I don't think we want to go to 5, even with the 2 of 6 in this. And now we have 6 pieces in round 1. We got our high ceiling quarterback. We got 2 cracks to fill our running back spot. Puka, McLaurin, and Cup. So between like Cup and Eckler, we need one of those guys to play for us. And then the rest, I think, should work itself out.
Man, okay, so we started the show with like a gal brain concept, went to like a crazy team, but it was perfectly cromulent and intelligent. And then we moved to a contest like this where it's like sharp to just catch some fallers, play some good chalk, but then couple it with some other stuff. We covered all the bases here, gentlemen.
And I do think, going back to the Gibbs thing, let's even say it was fairly unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard, right? Because you're going to want min 2 Chiefs and Lions at the very minimum. So you're already up to 4, and you probably ideally want a third on one of those teams. And now you have to hit the nuts in round 1 with your starting lineup. It gets hard. I mean, it's possible, and maybe it's, playing scared because of Chiefs Lions Super Bowl and you're cooking, but I don't know. I do think it's pretty tough to pull off.
One other thing about this is if you think of like product owned, some ownership, like that sort of thing, it's probably going to be rarer to have double Rams with those 3 Chiefs, because the only other way to do it would be on the right-hand side of the board here. And you need Puka to come back to 18, which hasn't been happening a ton that I've seen. And then you need to double tap it. And then you need someone else to not build Chiefs and Worthy come back to 30. So like from a combo standpoint, our first 5 picks are probably rarer than if we had done Gibbs and then hoped that Jameson Williams comes back to us there.
Yep. All right. I for real have to run. Do you guys want to just go a few more minutes to put a bow on stuff and let people know what's going on? You guys can do hoops, do whatever you want.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm about to dip as well, but yeah, we got the
All right, I'm going to set you up on the overlay on the way out. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Off and On the Clock. These guys will hang for.
Peace out, Pete. Yeah, so if you guys are playing the hoop slate, it's a wild one. Talked through about an hour and a half of it. It's located somewhere over here for the members only there. Most of it holds true because none of the news has changed since then. I've been sitting here and I haven't gotten much crazy news. It's all news for tomorrow, right? So still holding my breath a little bit on Blazers potential injury report later. Nez, do you have any macro thoughts that you'd like to share from your drafting endeavors in the hoop slate?
No, I do think that right now, one of the edges that I'm pressing is these Grizzlies. Grizzlies are super, super cheap right now comparatively. Given the fact that we just lost Hornets and Lakers, John Morant is still like a 4th round pick. It's been, a couple hours since I last drafted, so maybe that's changed, but I would lean into that at that point. There's, you got to find the edges at this point because a lot of the teams drafted early, man, you got to beat those teams. And a lot of people were playing as though Hornets and Lakers were out. So I think the way to do that is to get cheap Grizzlies and hope that game and hope that those players play. And you find a way to build some monster teams that way.
Yeah, good way to combat it. I walked through a bunch of examples of my teams at the tail end and juxtaposed it to the 2 drafts that I did on stream, and it's like night and day. It's like you had situations where Colin Sexton was going undrafted this morning, and now all of a sudden he's a 3rd round pick. So, yeah, you're going to have to find unique ways and some scroll the F downs that are different than the rest of the community. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Usual start time, 2 p.m. Eastern for our usual start time, not the usual start time for Off and On the Clock, but we'll be doing the full Saturday, Sunday, Monday wildcard slate as a tandem there, talk through the games individually and how to play the daily stuff, rip some drafts there, build some pick'ems, our usual stuff for the slate. And then we'll probably try and mix in a paywall stream as well for hoops tomorrow because it is in fact a dog bowl slate. So I do want to get some alpha out into the ethos about that. Nez and I will talk about that after, but do you have availability like before this show, after that show? What do you?
Yeah, I gotta. So my wife's got me on. I mean, thank God we've been doing this because otherwise I keep asking things that I forget and then she gets fucking pissed. So let me make sure that we don't have anything tomorrow. No, I'm good. Saturday I'm doing podcasts with her though, so you're gonna see me on Bria's podcast. So Friday I'm good. So yeah, we got to talk about Dog Bowl, right? We owe it to the platform. We got to help get these fill rates up. I think they're gonna make a small tweak on Friday to potentially help with that. But I mean, everybody wants to get to the Dog Bowl, so we'll definitely be talking about that. And it should be a fun slate, man. Like you said, super glad that we got that Joel Embiid out already. So there's like a lot less funny business going on. And then small other plug for me is like I do every year for the NFL playoffs. I run this little home league for the NFL playoffs. Okay. It's a sheet that I track, and it's similar to FFPC where you can only pick one player per team. So there's game theory involved. And if you want info on that, check it out on Discord. It's going to be $50 a pop. So hit me up for that if you want to do that. My buddies have been begging me to do it, and I didn't think I was going to do it, but I'm running it back. So just let me know if you guys want it on that. It's a really fun contest, and I have like a link to rules and stuff. But hit me up if you want access to that.
Beautiful, love it, dude. Yeah, get in on it in the Discord with Nez there. I'm just looking at some things now. Tari Eason's still doubtful, so that and Thompson ADP is still good. It was just something I was monitoring when we were talking about it earlier. Okay, join up, Nez, in the Discord. We'll be hanging out in the Discord. We'll be in the draft streets the rest of the day here, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow. Nez, you got the outro for us.
I'm actually just going to dick around on Pete's StreamYard for a couple hours if you guys want to hang around and I completely ruin his reputation.
Okay.
No, yeah, let's get out of here. I gotta piss like a racehorse.
All right, you hit the buttons. I think there's a off and on the clock outro one there or something.
Oh wow, this is a lot of
Oh my gosh.
This is interesting here. Maybe I'll hit that one. That's probably what he uses, right?
Roll the clip.
See ya.